So here we are looking at volume. This is again, spatial reasoning, 3D figures. And volume is such an easy calculation, it's kind of ridiculous. So volume is real basic. It's just the area of the base times the height. That's it. It's like a piece of cake. Super easy. Now we kind of, just to keep it simple, not really simple, really short in math, we usually tend to see this as B, capital B, for the area of the base, times h, the height. Now please remember that this height is perpendicular to this base. For example, when I see number 22 here, I have this red line, which is a height, which is perpendicular, but there's this slant height here too. So which one do I do, the outside slant height or the red one? I choose the red one because it's perpendicular to that base. All right, so let's just jump right in. So this is, oh, by the way, and or if pointy, if it's pointy, you just do times the third. It's the volume, or the volume is the area of the base times the height, and then a third. That's the only difference. And that's if it's pointy. If it's not, then it's just the area of the base times the height. This first one is pointy. So we have a couple things. Our height here is 22. Our base is a circle, and the area of a circle, so I'm going to put B equals pi times r squared. Well, they give me 22 inches for the diameter, which means that r equals 11. So then what I need to do is put that back in here. So B equals pi times 11 squared. Excellent. So the volume then is B, area capital B times H, which equals 11 squared times pi. I'm not going to simplify. I'm just going to set these pieces up. You can do a calculator if you need to. Times 22. And then I'm done. It was that literally that easy. So sometimes the hard part is just identifying the base. When it's a cone, it's pretty straightforward. The base is a circle. Let's look at 23 here. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and call this bottom rectangle the base, just because it's on the bottom. At least visually it looks like that. So if I'm trying to do volume, oh, wait. This is pointy. Times a third. So there we go. Because if it's pointy, you got to have that third. So for this one, it's not pointy, so I don't need the 1/3 for the prism down here. This is a rectangular prism. So that tells me that down here is my B. Let's figure out what that is, because the volume is just the area, or the area of the base times the height. Well, the area of this base is a rectangle. So that's going to be 6 times 3. We could even simplify that. It's 18. Then the height are these things. Let's use a dotted line here. It's all these kind of legs that connect the two bases, and they're perpendicular. So if I'm trying to connect those two bases, let's see what we'd get. So that's 6 all the way around. So the height then is 6. H equals 6. And these are in yards. These are in inches. Up here I should have put inches cubed, because these are going to be yards cubed, because volume is cubic units. So the area of the base times the height is going to be 18 times 6 yards cubed. There we go. Let's do a couple more just to kind of keep the variety in there. But it's pretty straightforward, real straightforward. So let's do something different. Ooh, 28 and 30 do look interesting. Let's see what we can do with that. First, 28. So this one, it's not exactly obvious, because you're like, oh, so the base is down here, it's the bottom, but it's not. That's not what the base is, because that would mean that the top here, that's 6 by 8, this bottom one is 5 by 2.6, or not 5 by 2, it's 5 by, or it's 5 by 6. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but that's 6, so is that, so is that, so is that. This 2.6 here let's highlight it in red, is referring to the red height there of the trapezoid, not the height of the prism. Okay, so that we got all this stuff going on, and it's so confusing. You're just trying to figure out, all right, what's the base? The thing that clues you into the base is when you have a height that's connecting and it's the same all the way around, then the base is going to be perpendicular to that. So that means that this trapezoid here would actually be a base. Well, then let's see what that trapezoid would be. I'm going to redraw it here so we can see it a little better. We know that this shorter side is 5, the longer side is 8, and this height right in there is 2.6. Okay, so we have all those measurements. And then the volume of a prism is the area of the base times the height. And we know the height in this case is all these 6's. Excellent. And the area of the base is a trapezoid. So that's that whole B1 and B2 divided by 2 times the height. And this is a different height, so I'm going to call that height 1. So let's say that height 1 is that 2.6. And then the area of this base, B1 and B2, so that's 5 plus 8 divided by 2, and then the height for the trapezoid is 2.6. And then all I need to do to find volume is take that times the height. So I'm going to plug in the height, and then I'm done, and that's it. So we got 13 divided by 2 times 2.6 times 6, and then you got the volume. Piece of cake. All right. So let's move on here a little bit, and let's do a couple more. See if we have any others that are worth mentioning. We could try a cylinder. Let's try that. Let's do this cylinder for 37 here, for number 37. So I'm looking at this, and it's showing me a shape, and I see all these pieces here. Let's see if I can use them in a more interesting way. So I have 22 and 12, and let's see, it's a cylinder, so that means we have 2 bases. It's not pointy, so I don't need the 1/3. But I do need the area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base is a circle, so that's pi r squared. The height in this case is perpendicular, so there's my h, my height. So the height is 12. So base equals pi r squared, and the radius in this case, the diameter is 22, so that means the radius is 11. Hey, that sounds familiar. It's like we had that one before. So the area of the base then is pi times 11 squared. Then the volume, which is the area of the base times the height, is going to be 11 squared times pi. And then times the height is 12. So it's really just putting your pieces together. It's not as hard as you would think, but it's definitely, a little bit tricky sometimes to see the pieces. So for example, I'm not going to calculate it, but if you look at this piece here, it's a triangular prism, which means that my heights are here, here, and here. Those are all 7 all the way around. So that means my base then is this triangle. And I actually have extra information, it seems, in here. Because if I want to find the area of the base times the height, I don't really care about this 10. But I do care about this 11, because that means this side down here is also 11. And then I have 2 parts of the triangle there.
Good morning, Wildcats. This is Mr. Williamson. Hey,
Sorry for a little bit of confusion there. That's okay, though. We just had a little announcement over the intercom. But anyways, so here's the basic idea. What are we looking at? You need to know, is it pointy? Because if it's yes, then you're going to include a 1/3. If it's no, then you don't need the 1/3. And then, what is the area of the base? And what is the height that's perpendicular? That's all you need. If you can find out these 3 questions, you can find the volume of anything. That's all.